you are ready to go. Bring us up to date. What's going on with Mekorma? Take it away.
Thank you, Kim. Really appreciate you guys inviting us to present our products today. Yes, I am Angel, the Sales and Marketing Manager here at Mekorma, and we also have Mike McDowell on the line. He's the COO. And we're going to be talking about our Mekorma MICR for Payables product. And I'm going to start the demo today by going through some of the basic functionality of Mekorma. I'm going to demonstrate a live demo on our secure approval workflow and talk about some additional features, all included when you purchase Mekorma MICR for Payables. And then I'll also touch on our relationship with Winthrop Development Consulting and talk about the products we have to offer for them, which is the GP Power Tools and the Batch Posting Service Toolkit. And then I'm going to turn it over to Mike, and he's the one that's going to fill you in on all the exciting information on our new premium features that we'll be releasing for Mekorma MICR for Payables. It's called the it's called the Multi-Batch Management, and he'll be explaining that product and how that works. Those are additional features that will have an additional cost. So, to get us started, I'm just going to talk about at the core of what Mekorma MICR can do. We allow you to print checks on blank check stock, and we have the automatic signatures. So we have the Mekorma Configurator, which allows you to set up each one of your checkbooks with its own stub file. You can configure exactly what you want to have shown on those stub files. We have additional information that you can pull that isn't accessible in any other program, like vendor notes and voucher notes. Again, that signature logic that we add there, and you can have your own logo printed on your checks. Lots of options. And so that's just basic functionality. Printing on blank check stock allows you to avoid mistakenly printing the checks on the wrong pre-printed stock or with the wrong check number. All of those things that can happen during the printing process, we can help avoid that, and you never have to worry about locking up that check stock. There's never a concern. You can leave it in the printer and you're ready to go. Mekorma also offers additional security features for your payments. So this is just a screenshot of our security screen, and I'm going to be demonstrating for you today user-based security. And I have a specific scenario set up where I'll be showing you the scenario with passwords for when you want your checks to print. We have a threshold set up, and we're going to be using our secure approval workflow and split batch. Also, something to note is our security does also work with EFTs. So if you're processing checks or you're processing EFT batches, you can have that extra layer of approval before anything prints or gets sent out. So with our secure approval workflow and our split batch, I have this scenario set up to show you. We're asking that there is one approver for all payments under $5,000 and two if it's over. Now for this, I have my signature logic matching, and it doesn't have to. It can be a totally different signature scenario, but I'm saying one if under and two if over. And then I have Karen and Megan set up in my system as the approvers, and Ryan is the one that creates those payment batches and requests the approval. So because we have two levels on our approval, so we want some checks approved by just one person and some by two, we have a split batch feature added to that so that you can create your payment batches all in one, put all your payments there together, and then we'll look at your logic and split them out. This top line shows you that Ryan's created the payment batch and he's requested that approval. Now the first line are checks under $5,000. Karen and Megan got an email letting them know that their approval is needed. Karen was the one that actually got to that batch first, so Megan was notified she doesn't need to do anything for this one. Karen can review the payments and remove any that she doesn't want to have paid, And then once she makes her approval, Ryan is notified via email, and then he can go in and print those checks, and they come out with that one signature. Same scenario on the bottom, except that the payments won't be released until both Karen and Megan have looked at the payments and made their approvals. Then Ryan gets notified, and they'll print with 2 signatures. So I'm actually going to switch over here to Dynamics GP, and I'm going to show you the process. And then once I'm done, if you have any questions, or if during the process you'd like me to stop, please feel free to raise your hand. Okay, so I have Ryan here and Karen, 2 instances of GP. I'm going to go to the Select Checks window. That's just one of the places you can create your payment batches. And I already have a batch of checks ready, so I'm just going to pull that in. Sorry. So from here, I can actually request approval from this screen by going to the Additionals window. If I was to click in the bottom right corner where it says Print Checks, I still wouldn't have any other option than to request approval. So since we have the split batch feature turned on, it's telling me here that my test split batch is now become Test Split A1 with 4 transactions that need 1 approver, and Test Split A2 that contains 2 transactions that need approvers. Emails have gone out, so Karen and Megan have both been notified via email about these batches. In the email, they were told the batch name, the total amount of the batch, and the number of transactions, and asked to go into their own Dynamics GP system to process. So I'm going to go to Purchasing as Karen here now. We have the Batch Pending Approval list. And here I see both of those payment batches, and I can click on the one I want to review. So I'm going to go into the A1 batch first and drill in to see the additional information. So this screen will only show me those payments that are in this batch. And you can see over here we've got the vendors listed with the total amount of the payment. Over here, if I highlight any one of these vendors, I'll get the detailed information as far as the voucher, if I put in a transaction description, and then the amount. So you can see each one of these 3 only have 1 voucher being paid to make up their total check amount. Central Cellular actually has 4 vouchers making up their total. If I wanted to remove any one of these payments from the batch, I can do that by highlighting that specific one and hitting the reject button. This gives me the ability to actually put a very detailed description of why I'm removing this from the batch, and this information will go back to Ryan. He'll receive an email, and he can review this so that he knows what he needs to do. Now this payment is just going to go back into the system. It hasn't been processed at all yet, so there's no need, unless you're not wanting to pay this, no need to void it. You can just fix it and then put it back into a batch. I'm just going to put reject here, just so we have something in the box, and click OK. So it's been removed, and now I can go ahead and click OK and come back out to this main screen. I'll refresh so you can see now my A1 batch is down to 3 transactions, and the dollar amount has changed. And I could now drill into A2 and make my approval. I'm actually going to highlight them both from here and just go ahead and hit approve. Now if I switch over here to just the status list, I'll be able to see Ryan has gotten an email, so he already knows that that 1 batch is available. But here is a place where you can view all the batches and what their status currently is. So we see our A1 batch and it's been approved. Our A2 batch is still waiting for that secondary approval. And this MICR reject batch, this is actually where that one payment that we moved out is being held. So it's just being held here in the MICR reject, waiting for Ryan to get the information, and then he can move it again appropriately to whatever he needs to do. All right, so now I'm going to come back over here as Ryan, and I'm going to go to the print check screen, and I'm going to pull up the A1 batch that we're working on, and from here I can go ahead and print. It's now been released, and this may take just a couple seconds only because I'm working in a virtual environment. Sometimes it runs a little slow, but what it's going to do is pull up a PDF. So it's actually thinking about creating that right now. If you do have any questions at this point, would be a good time. I'm going to show you what that check would look like in PDF form, and then go ahead and post the payments.
Again, on the right-hand side, there's a questions area. Type in your questions that you'd like to ask Angel and Mike, and I'll get those answered for you. There's nothing at this time.
Okay. Okay, here we go. There we go. So here is a PDF copy of what the check would look like if it had printed. You've got your MICR line here, our one signature. We had our logo added, just so you can kind of see that. And then I'm going to go ahead and process these or post these through. And then come back over here as Karen and just open up our security screen. And this again was where I set all that logic up, having the approver as 2 if over the threshold and 1 if under. But you do again have different options. You can just always say 1 approver or 2, another threshold option there for you. And then your signature logic as well. It can be different than what your password logic is, of course. Lots of options here, always 1, always 2, and some threshold options, other threshold options. This is also where you would set up all of your users. We have Karen set up here with a signature, and she has the ability to approve all payments of any amount. If you do have a lot of checkbooks set up in your individual companies, you can restrict or limit any one person from approving from a certain checkbook. So she has the authorization in all checkbooks for this company, but you could uncheck any of these so that she could only approve up to the max amount in certain ones. Another thing I'll point out is our audit log. So that check batch we just processed is right here, and this will show you all of your batches, when they were posted, when they were printed, who printed, who approved, and then the number of checks that were printed. You can drill down in here to actually see check numbers and the check amounts. This is a sortable and printable report, so you can always have an eye on what's going on with your check batches. Any questions at this point?
Nothing in the queue.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Another feature of Mekorma MICR is the ability to see your posted batches right within Dynamics GP. So I'm going to go to the transaction by vendor, and I'm just going to pull up one of the payments that we just took care of. I believe that was ready. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, and here is the one we just did. I have that highlighted and I click on document number, and what I'm going to get is again audit information, who approved that payment and when, and then a copy of the check. So we don't print the MICR line again, and we do not print the signature, and of course it's voided for security purposes, but you'll be able to see everything else from that check. You can print this. If you have a PDF writer, you can turn it into a PDF so that you can send it out for proof of payment. In addition to this feature, we do also have the ability to create PDF copies of all of your checks at the time of posting and save those outside of your GP system in a shared folder or any folder that you'd like. You can set that criteria up of how you want the file name to go and then where you want it to be saved. That is a feature that is available, although it does take a little setup and you would have to turn that on, but it's always there accessible for you if you own Mekorma MICR. Any questions about that feature?
Nothing yet.
Okay, so the last thing I just want to touch on is our Assign by Checkbook feature. I won't actually demonstrate this, but we do have a feature that would allow you to assign a checkbook ID to either a specific vendor or a specific voucher when you're creating that in transaction entry. And in doing that, then we can help with the selection process on this screen by ensuring that only payments assigned to the same checkbook ID as your batch will be pulled in. If you have a need for that to ensure that your payments don't get paid out of the incorrect checkbook, that is a feature for you. And Mike will actually touch on this as well with our new enhanced multi-batch management that's also included. All right, so I'm going to switch back over here to my slideshow. And we've talked about the check image archiving and the Assign by Checkbook feature. And now I just want to touch on our relationship with Winthrop Development Consulting. So Mekorma is now the exclusive distributor for the Winthrop products, and that includes the GP Power Tool, which was formerly known as the Support Debugging Tool, and then the Batch Posting Services Toolkit. So GP Power Tools has lots of awesome features that can be very helpful to your GP administrators, like database validation to make sure that your upgrades run smoothly, activity tracking, managing your security screens, multi-views and security there. We also do the color, it also does the color coding. So if you do have a lot of companies and you are always worried about making sure you're in the appropriate company to be entering your vouchers or whatever work that you may be doing, GP Power Tools allows you to color code your screens, so you'll know right off the bat if you're in the right company or not by the color of that screen, and extending the display on the name so you have your full name that you can see, because there's a limit to what can go in there just under normal functionality. And then service procedures and scripting as well, so you don't have to use or know dexterity. GP Power Tools can help you with a lot of things like that. Then the other product that is available is the Batch Posting Services Toolkit. Now this is a more specific product. If you're posting batches into Dynamics GP from an external application, then this can help you do that without dexterity. And it works with all the master posting windows like financials, sales, purchasing, and inventory. If you would like any additional information about either one of these products, of course, feel feel free to contact me and I can get you more information on what these products can do. All right, well, that concludes my portion of the demonstration. I'm actually going to turn this over to Mike, and he is going to talk about the multi-batch management. So, Kim, if you could turn
All right.
Mike
Switching it over to Mike, and again, if you have any questions, type those in the right-hand side, and we'll get those addressed at the end. Mike, I'll let you know when I can see your screen. Okay,
right.
I can see it. Take it away.
All right, thanks, Kim. Thanks, Angel. So the biggest question on everybody's mind should be, what in the world is Mekorma Multi-Batch Management? Mekorma Multi-Batch Management is a system basically that streamlines the payables payment process. As experts in the AP payment process world, we work with thousands of customers with multi-company and multi-checkbook scenarios, and this product is a result of that relationship. First thing I'd like you to think about, since we have many people on the phone and many different companies, is how many company databases do you currently have? And, or, how many checkbooks do you create checks or EFTs for? If that number is 5 or more databases, or 5 or 10 or more checkbooks, this product's for you. You could have just a few, it would still work, but the more company databases and or checkbooks that you have, for instance, you could just have one database but 25 checking accounts, or checkbooks I should say, or you could have just, you could have maybe 25 databases and one checkbook for each one of those. It doesn't matter. You're still having to go in and out, in and out, in and out to pull data, create batches, print, and post. So this is the question. How much time do you spend processing and posting check batches? As we all know, for those that are on the phone that actually deal with this process, it's always been time consuming. You're clicking a button, you're waiting around for everything to run, praying, crossing your fingers, nothing bends or breaks while it's going on, because a lot of times you're on the hold for 15 or 20 or even longer minutes, and then all of a sudden it bends and you've got to start all over. So some of the problems are definitely loss of productivity from your employees because they're standing around doing nothing. They're waiting, watching a screen, do nothing, or very slowly do nothing. You have possible accuracy issues, especially if you're working in multiple checkbooks or companies, because you're going in and out, in and out. You can forget things. You can set something up incorrectly. So those are issues that you don't want to have. You want to have those resolved. And on top of everything, you've got the employee frustration. Not only as an officer, a CFO, or a controller are you dealing with this frustration from your employees, but your employees are extremely tired of it. They're tired of waiting. They want things done. They want to do something, get it done quickly and accurately, and then move on. Some of the problems that we solved with this product, they apply to the check selection, requesting approval, the printing, EFT remittance, posting, generating EFT files, and generating a SafePay file. You should be using a SafePay file anyway. That's just the way to go. That's been out for a while, and in many of the classes that I do, we talk about SafePay. That's so important. Really helps out, keeps things where they're supposed to be, keeps things from clearing that shouldn't be clearing. So basically what we've done is we've continued to leverage dynamics. We still respect all the business rules for selecting, printing, and posting. Batches can still be edited by Edit Check Batch, and batches can go through the Mekorma MICR approval system. So you still get all those features. I'm going to try to shrink this and pull up GP real quick and just show you a couple things. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I prefer doing this later with you online so that I can get a little bit more data from you and kind of show you how you really would be impacted, how much time and effort this is going to save, how accurate this process can be for you. So all in all, I'm going to go down here to quick links down here. You can see me hopefully highlighting some of the top 4 lines. We have a setup screen that basically what I'm doing in that setup screen is just picking the accounts, the databases that I want this to run against. Very simple, not hard at all. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up real quick. So you see my company names. I've just picked the ones that I want to print and post, select checks, and possibly deal with SafePay on. If I wanted all of them, I could check all of them. It's very simple. I just check on, check off, piece of cake. I can go up to the top and say select all. If I should have 50 or 60 or 100 accounts on here, databases on here, then awesome, you're done. Do it one click. So piece of cake there, just setting up what I want. The next thing is the builder selection process. Really that gets into the criteria. This is the fun part about this product. I can go in and select the criteria that I want my batches created on. And again, this goes across checkbook, across company databases. I don't have to go in and out, in and out. I can just say, look at all my checkbooks, pull this criteria from each checkbook, create a batch. So that's what's so neat about this. One-stop shop. I create my criteria. It's always there. It will always be there again. I don't have to recreate it. It's there. The next screen would be the builder process maintenance. And all I'm doing there is telling the system, the Mekorma management system, which checkbooks to apply the criteria to. Piece of cake. If I've got a ton of bank accounts, I can create as many of these processes that I want. I pick a criteria, pick my bank accounts. Pick another criteria, pick my bank accounts. And I can have as many as I want running. Why is this important? Well, you know, as I was over AP departments for years, and we always had to specifically, we wanted our checks to run a certain way. We wanted certain checks to come out first. Maybe I wanted my employee benefit checks to come out first so I could give it to my marketing director so he could give out the employee management, the mileage checks, things of that nature that they're needing on a frequent basis. Maybe I've got rent vendors that show up at my office, and I did actually have that. Rent vendors would come to the office to get their rent checks. They did not want it mailed. They didn't want an EFT. They wanted that thing right then. So I had a special batch for rent. So that's one of my criteria. I've got employee benefits. I've got rent, on and on and on. It just goes on as much as I want to do. And I can pick the process that I want. This gets into printing checks and EFTs. So once all this is set up, and these are all setup screens, and we at Mekorma will help you do that. This is not complicated at all. It's very simple and very easy. We will show you how to do it. We'll help you set it up. And then later, if you want to build your own criteria, absolutely, do it yourself or either call us back. But it's very, very simple. So when I'm all done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into transactions, up to purchasing, come down to the builder process. All right, what I'm going to do now, I've created all these criteria, I've created all these processes. All I'm going to do now, this is what I would do every time. Those first 3 steps are done. You'll never do them again unless you want to. All you're going to go in is pick your process. So I'm going to just say end of month. Well, let's just do employee benefits. We'll do employee benefits. I'm going to select that. So now, right here, all I've got to do is say process, and it builds my batches across checkbooks, across companies. All right? Make sure you understand that. Across checkbooks and across companies. I'm not going in and out, in and out, in and out. The system is doing that for me. So I'm saving all that time. If I had 25 checkbooks or if I've got 100 companies, all I do is hit that button one time and it pulls that data if it's valid. Okay? Now let's go into a little bit more detail. Well, I'll do that later. I'll tell you, we'll go into more detail about the actual criteria in a little bit. But bottom line, all I'm doing is picking the process ID and then process. Now once the process is done, all I did was click one button here. I click the process ID and then I click process. When that's done, I'm going to go up here to my multi-batch print and post label up at top, and it's going to pull up the batches that I just created. So at this particular time, this is the data that I have in here. All the things I've done. You can look under company right here and see this is there are 2 companies here that I pulled data from. I hit process one time, boom, there's my data. Some of them are checks, some of them are EFTs. Under the batch ID, you can kind of see that. These are the ones that I have currently set up under View Batches at the top. It says View Batches, View Company. So I'm looking at the ones to print. All right, here's the great part about this. Now, if I want to print these checks, all I go over here, I can click the down arrow and mark them all, or I can unmark them all, or I can just click on the ones that I want. Piece of cake. All right, I'm done. Now, if they're checks, I'm going to go up here and say Process, and it's going to go ahead and print my checks. Then I would come back to this screen once that, I would actually not come back, but after it would printed, I'd go click on the to post, and they're going to show up into the post area, and again I would check the box that I want to post, hit process, and I'm done. So it's kind of 2-step for checks. However, if you look at the very bottom left corner, it says EFT remittance options, and I have checked all 3. Send documents in email, post them immediately, and generate EFT after posting. So all of those are checked. So if any of these batches, these batch IDs are EFT, all I have to do is click process one time, and it prints, sends the EFT, it sends the EFT, the remittance, and posts them all at once. I only have to do that once. So if all of these are EFTs, I click process one time, I'm done. How simple is that? Doesn't matter if I've got one company or I've got 50 companies, one checkbook, 50 companies, 50 checkbooks. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be one click, I'm done. So that's how simple this product is. Now, there is some setup, and I just said that, but the setup is very simple. It's not difficult at all. And I would be more than happy to do a demo for one-on-one with any of the companies on the phone to kind of show how simple it is. I just didn't want to dominate the meeting with showing the basic setup stuff. I wanted to show you how easy it is to do what the final result would be. Go into one screen, create the batches, go into this screen, print them and post them, or in the case of EFTs, print and post all at one time. All right, let's jump back over to the PowerPoint real quick, and we'll do it from here. Let's just go down here a little bit. All right, so can everybody see the screen?
We can see your PowerPoint deck.
Thank you. Okay, here are some examples. This is some of the criteria, the rules that you would use for your criteria. Just to give you some examples, you'll have your own, but these are ours. Maybe you want to select employee reimbursement payments to print first, then EFTs, then checks. That's possible. Maybe you want to select a utility vendor that's due within 7 days and pay one check per voucher. On the screen, one of the screens that you'll set up everything on, you have the right under the criteria setup to say, hey, I want to pick, I'll just give you a scenario. I want to pay rent, and I have many bank accounts, but I only want to pay rent at that particular day, at that particular time, for all of the rent vendors that I have in that checkbook. I can set that up. So maybe you pay rent on the first for a certain series of people under that check. Maybe you pay rent at the end of the month or maybe the middle of the month for another group of people. You can set that criteria up. It's really unlimited to what you want to do. You can set it up to pay one check per voucher. You can set it up to pay one check per invoice. You can say combine all the invoices into one check. That's up to you. Maybe you're a government entity or a non-for-profit, and you deal with grants, and you've got to create vouchers, and so you can set up the vouchers for grant expenses due within so many days. So how does that look? Let's just say that let's just talk about due dates. You've got due dates. Let's say you've got people that are paid. You got a discount date you're working on, and some people get paid first, some people get paid in the middle, some people get paid on the third week, whatever it is. You don't have to remember these dates anymore. You can go into the criteria, pick the criteria, and say if they fit the criteria, print them, print the check, or send the EFT. So you don't have to remember, oh, well, the utility company has got to be paid for me to get my discount, or my supplier of lumber or my supplier of plumbing supplies has got to be paid by this date in order for me to get that 3% discount. That's a criteria you put into the system. All you do is go in and run your process. If it's within the criteria, it prints a check or sends an EFT. If it's not, it doesn't print. So you never miss your discount time. That's something that's set in for you. So there you go. You just relieved yourself of missing a discount date. Maybe you want to select EFTs due within so many days. Use payment date 2 days from now. All this can be done. Select the remaining checks due within so many days. All of that is up to you. We will be happy to help you set that up, or you can just set it up yourself. Anything you throw at us, we should be able to do within the criteria. Again, you're not limited by the number of processes that you run. You may be limited to how many criteria you can put in there, but you can run as many processes as you want to totally get everybody within the realm that you're looking for. Said that kind of quick, and I apologize, but the one thing I want you to remember is this is unlimited to whatever you think you need. As long as you can do it through Dynamics, we can do it through this product. That's all I have. Again, I'm Mike McDowell, and if I can help you with a further demo, you feel free to contact myself or Angel or Kim, and we'll be glad to talk more.
Excellent, Mike. All right. Angel, anything you want to add before we ask folks to write in questions?
No, I think that's about it. Thank you.
All right. So again, on the right-hand side, if you've got any questions, give me a call. Well, I'm so excited, Mike. You guys have been making some significant improvements to your products and also bringing on David's products. So really am excited about getting that a little bit more updated within our client base. So thank you so much for this webinar today, and we look forward to leveraging this recording as well. Any other last words before we let you go, Mike or Angel? We don't have any questions in the queue.
No, but thank you for the time to show off our